Hello, what is up? I am back. Silly detective who has deserted her channel probably too many times to count is now back and is now trying it again. A lot has happened. So I got a part-time but full-time hour job. It was at a place that everyone knows. I call it Walnut, but I cannot say the actual name. You guys can probably guess what it is. Blue vest, everything like that. So I started doing that. And then I was there for a year and a half, and then I left, and then I went, I'm saying a lot of and thens because I haven't done this in forever. I left that job. I went to my old job, a packaging company again. I stayed there for about almost another year. I went to that job. I went to a housekeeping company where the manager treated me so horribly, hated me for no exact reason, and then I went to a current place that I work at now, which I think I can say this. I work at the airport. I cannot say what I do there, but I do work at the airport. So I'm enjoying it a lot. And then my relationship status, as you guys can see, I'm engaged. Not to the guy that you guys are all thinking of, not to the guy who appeared in one of my videos. I don't even know if I actually posted that video yet. That was so long ago, I'm not even sure if I'm actually gonna post it anymore, but I think I will, just so you guys can get the reference. He is now my ex, and this is what this video is about. So my ex and I, we were together for 2 years before I broke up with him the day after his birthday. That sounds pretty bad as I say it out loud. I didn't just break up with him being like, oh, I don't love you anymore, you know, stuff like that. That's the main reason that most people sometimes do, or just complications and stuff like that. I broke up with him for many reasons, and he thought that it was because I liked someone else, or I was dating someone else, or I cheated on him. You know, that's everything that he wanted to say, and that's probably stuff he actually did say about me. I did not cheat on him. There's a lot of things that happened, I don't know if I can say half of it. Him and I got into a lot more arguments. Let's just start there. We argued constantly. There was probably a good grace period of 3 months where we did not fight. First 3 months of our relationship, he was treating me really bad. He wasn't asking my opinion on stuff. He wasn't making time for him and I to hang out. And I told my friend, and if I were to get her on here, she would vouch that I said, if he does not treat me right, if things don't turn around by the 3rd month, I'm leaving. Kind of wish things didn't turn around. But they did. We had a good grace period, you know. Because of him, I started to drink a lot because he always wanted to go get a drink, or he wanted to go get beer or something like that. So we started drinking a lot, and that started an issue that I have called alcoholism, because that is, it runs in my family. I thought I'd be the one being like, that's not gonna happen to me. Of course, the person who always says that it's not gonna happen to them, it happens to them. So, just to say now, 4 months sober. This is 8, but I'm doing it with both hands. 4 months sober. I am doing great. I haven't drank. I have cravings. I don't drink. If you guys want more about the alcoholism, just in general, I'll make a whole separate video about that. But once again, that's not what this video is about. We started drinking a lot. There was a lot of times that I became super drunk. I don't know if I should go into the whole arguments thing, because I could pull up a whole bunch of texts that we've had, like a whole bunch of arguments. It led to me having a short temper. Anytime that he would start to nitpick at an argument, I would blow up, because I was reaching my wit's end with everything. The first year came around, we thought, okay, woo, we made it through 1 year, you know, this is going great. Because I kept lying to myself that it was going great. Around in the 2nd year, I started to feel like the relationship wasn't going well. I wasn't happy. I was getting really upset all the time about the relationship. I just was done. I couldn't really handle it anymore. So that led to me more drinking. One of my old friends said something, and I didn't really think much about it. He said that I was in a controlling, nasty relationship. Now, I thought he was just hating on me. He was actually right. And said that I was a bitch rant. And he was right about that. If you're seeing this, I'm sorry, Shane. You were actually right. I've worked on it, though. I've done better. Anyway, back onto the actual subject. Him and I, my ex and I, we kept trying to make it work, and I put in too much effort. And my fiance now has given me credit that I gave it everything that I had. But then I finally reached the last straw when right after our 2nd year. It was in January. We all went bowling. Now this is probably a subject that's going to take this video down. I have already fallen out of love with him. I was completely done. I didn't know how to break up with him, and as I mentioned to one of my friends, I didn't know when to break up with him. I didn't know what to do, you know. I lived with him. We had a cat together. It's like I didn't know what to do. It was very controlling. He had me take birth control when I didn't want to take birth control. It was just a whole many things were being played at that moment. He would do things that I told him not to do. He never listened to anything that I said. So that night, sorry, I keep jumping around it. That night I had too much to drink. People at that bowling alley could see, yeah, I was super drunk. We were taking my friend home. And I asked her, I'm like, was I super drunk that night? She was like, oh yeah, you were so drunk. You were really drunk. And then that night, a few things happened that I didn't want to happen. He didn't ask for consent, and that whole thing happened. And I don't like saying the word, but you guys can already guess what happened. Afterwards, I'm not gonna lie, I cried, because I never wanted that kind of thing to happen, because I never thought, oh, victim. And then after that, I just blame myself because I shouldn't have drank that much. It was my fault, but people keep telling me that it wasn't. So I'm still kind of working on that whole thing about if it was my fault or not. And then it just went on downhill from there. So I had, Jesus. Really? You've been sitting out for a whole night. Why did you make noise? Him and I, we went on a vacation afterwards. I tried to ignore what happened. Oh, and by the way, when I confronted him about what happened, he said that's not what happened. He said that I really wanted it and stuff like that. I have text messages of that. But that night when I said what happened last night shouldn't have happened, he literally said, I agree. He agreed, but yet it happened anyway. So if you didn't do that, then why did you agree? Moving on. Him and I went on vacation. We went to Crater Lake. Never actually went to Crater Lake, but we went to Crater Lake. We were in a small town. I actually really like the small town. I'm gonna actually take fiance there because I really want him to see it. Because it's so cute and it just like has snow everywhere. It has so much snow. People made their own little snow plows. Oh, I loved it. Not the point. Then it got to the point of I had friends over, we were all drinking and stuff, and him and I, he didn't want people over because he was super upset. I told him I kept trying to break up with him, but I couldn't because I was just like, I don't know how to take care of this, you know, I'm too worried about other people's feelings and not my own, not worried about me being happy, but worried about everyone else being happy, and it's just, that's a downfall with me. I cannot stop that because it tortures me. So I had friends over, we were all drinking, and then he told me that he wanted all the people out. They were all drunk, and I said, I can't make them leave. And he said, yes, you can tell them to leave right now. And I said, no, I cannot because they're drunk and I don't want them driving. And then he said, well, that's not my problem. I want them out of my apartment. And I said, it's my apartment too. You don't get all to say. They are staying. And he said, if you don't make them leave, in the next minute, I'm going to come out there and make them all leave. So then I went back into the room where he was, and I didn't know at the time, but he was drunk. He was all upset. I was super angry. We were yelling at each other in quiet voices though, so no one else could hear us. We were having a silent argument. You know those arguments that like, you know you're angry, you know they're angry, you're trying to argue, but you don't want other people to know that you're having issues. We had a whole argument right there. And then he did something that I told myself was the biggest deal breaker, and I will leave anyone. Doesn't matter if I've been with them for 5 years, doesn't matter if I'm married to them or anything. I will leave just like that if this ever happens to me. He got up in my face and yelled at me to get those people out of there. I didn't say anything. I turned around, walked right out that door, walked out into the living room, was silent for a minute, and people asked if I was okay. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Then I sent him a message right then and there. Didn't matter that I was drunk or anything. I was heavily buzzed. That's what I will say. I wasn't drunk yet. I sent him a message and I said, we're done.
So that video was a lot longer than I expected. So the second part is just gonna be about what happens after the relationship, which a lot of crazy things do end up happening. This will be the end of it right now. Leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this. Bye.